Tadiwa Mashiri, and I am the co-founder and head creative director of dDreams Zimbabwe, and I am also an architectural designer. And today I would like to talk about inclusion in the arts. Before I start, I'd like to give a definition of what inclusion actually is. And inclusion is the action or state of including or being included within a group or structure. I'll be speaking on inclusion in the arts from my perspective, and why I think it's important and almost impossible to have honest art without inclusion. The reason I say that is because one of the many roles of art in society should be to act as a mirror, to reflect the day-to-day happenings of the people, and in order to do that, every individual should be represented in some sort of manner. The first thing I would like to cover is the importance of narrative and the role it has played personally for me. So with my fashion brand, our latest campaign is entitled A New History, and the objective behind it is to portray a new narrative that reflects back on hard times within Zimbabwean history, such as colonialism and hyperinflation. Of course, there are many ways to do that, but the beauty of art and art that is inclusive is that you don't have to be tied down to a certain medium or answer to a set of gatekeepers to give you a perspective. Artists have been telling stories that depict their gender, age, race, and upbringing for the longest time, and by allowing inclusion, artists are in a position to speak for those that cannot or are not artistically inclined within society. I believe that certain conversations cannot be had if a certain group of people are not allowed to express themselves. And when I say art, I'm talking about everything from literature to dance. One of the many benefits of having inclusion within the arts is the realization that we are all interconnected through the different stories we tell, and this creates space for understanding, collaboration, and the removal of stigmas that make it difficult to live within today's society, i.e., racism and marginalization, amongst other issues. In 2018, I was part of the creation of a platform called African Born Child Art Movement. And within that platform, the sole purpose was to, and still is to, allow artists and individuals to share their work to the world without having to pay for anything. And in turn, this allows artists to tell their story and sell their work. The creation of the platform was to bridge the gap between artists that have the financial backing to host gallery shows and those that do not. The main belief is that artistic expression and inclusion should not come down to what class or financial bracket someone is coming from, but should be devoid of bias and segregation. Inclusion in art isn't just about allowing freedom of expression, but the responsibility lies on the artist as well to make the work that the outsider is seeing understandable. Art primarily focuses on creating a dialogue, and I feel that the artist should actually go an extra mile to make their work understandable, but that's just my opinion. As an architectural designer myself, I believe that the design process that goes into designing a building, a public play area, or an installation needs to be considerate of the users and not alienate the people interacting with the design. As much as art plays a role in speaking for society, the language it uses should not be difficult to decipher and allow anyone to be part of the narrative. I guess my final words on inclusion in the arts is the same as my first words. Art without inclusion or art that is censored is dishonest. And I think in order to create honest art, it needs to be devoid of bias, pretenses, or governing bodies that exclude any individuals from expressing themselves. Whether you're a quote-unquote artist or not, that should not restrict you from having a voice.